guys, welcome back to our channel. I'm Felicia if you don't know. In today's video I am going to just be talking about just giving you the truth about having twins. And I'm not going to give you or really talk about so much of the obvious things. Well, I feel like all of it is kind of obvious, but just not so much of the, I'm not going to say positive, and I'm just going to be talking about negative things, but just really giving you guys the truth. Because I feel like, you know, having twins, hands down, is a blessing. Having kids, period, is a blessing, especially to me, like just with my whole pregnancy journey as a whole. Like, can never, will never complain at all about having kids, you know. Like I said, I'm not at all complaining about having twins at all, because it's a blessing, you know, and it doesn't happen that often to a lot of people, especially people I know. So yeah, let's just go ahead and hop into this video and I'll talk more about what we're going to be discussing. So I normally get, like, when we go out and because you guys know I like to travel and go out, and I like to do things with my kids. I am that type of person. So just like people, when they see me with my kids, you know, it's just, oh wow, you have twins, and they go into the, I have some people that go into the, oh, I know someone who had twins, and da 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 da, wish I had twins. And I've even ran into some extremely young folk, oh, I want twins, and that, you know, I'm just like, it's amazing to, oh, let's focus. It's an amazing thing to have twins, but it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. I mean, having a kid, one kid, is a lot of work. But you're talking about having two babies at once. It's a whole nother ball game. It really is. One, it's expensive. And that's not necessarily saying like in the beginning, but in the beginning it's expensive too, because you kind of have to double up. And you just have to have the money for it, I would say. So I can say from my experience, I'm the type of person, I don't really like to, I don't have the need to ask anyone, but I don't like to ask people for help, especially like financially. Again, I don't need to ask anyone. I'm just saying, like, some people are like, okay, yeah, I know you got it, but I'm willing to, and I'm just like, no, you know, I don't know, I'm just like that. But so I like to buy everything myself, and you know, that way I can get what I want. Even though some people offer to buy, I just feel funny if it's a certain price, or, you know, I don't want to ask, even if they are offering to, you know, buy, you know, I just feel funny about it. So like I said, it's just very expensive. So when you're talking, just starting from the beginning, just the doctor's appointments and the visits, from a medical standpoint, it's very expensive. Thank God I have insurance, but it's very expensive. From the time they come home, they need a lot of things. Clothing, foods, diapers, just bedding. The list goes on and on. And to be honest, and again, my oldest set of twins are only about to be 5, so I can't really say past that point, but I think I can kind of say, once you buy all the newborn items that you need, I'm not going to say they're not really expensive, but I personally breastfeed my kids, so I don't have to spend money on formula. So that saves a lot of money there, but I just feel like it's not as expensive when they're like a baby, I guess is what I'm saying, versus when they start like eating table food, and you know, eating everything that you're eating plus a little more. That's when it kind of gets more expensive. But just over the whole span of having to care for the child, very expensive, because you're doing everything times 2. So it's a lot, you know. The other thing that people, I don't really think they understand quite, and I think this is the biggest thing for me, is I get a lot of people saying, oh well, yeah, I mean, I pretty much had twins too, because my kids are so close in age. Like, yeah, no, not really. Like, it's a difference. So it's a huge difference. And again, I can say that because I have kids that are close in age too, but it's not nowhere near having twins. So an example of that would actually be, you have one baby waking up constantly for feeding and all of that, whereas there's 2. Like, really think about it. And they're not going to be in sync. So it's not like when one cries, well, it is, but it's not. So just because one's crying, they could be crying, one could be crying because they're hungry, another for a totally different reason, but you have to deal with both. So as a mom, if you can think back, or if you're in this situation now, to when you were up feeding all those nights with one baby, imagine 2. And I think some people are like, well, yeah, because if I'm already up with one, then I can just do the other. It doesn't work that way. It really doesn't work that way. And for me, I'm the mom that likes to spend time with the kid when they are feeding, and just really let that be our bonding time together. So for me, juggling 2, it isn't, obviously it's not impossible. It's just, to me, it was hard kind of emotionally, because and I'm the parent, again, I have a schedule. So one kid, it may be feeding at, let's just say 2 a.m. the other kid maybe at 3 a.m. Once you get them on that schedule, it's okay, you know, it works. But again, if I'm feeding you at 2 and then I'm holding you, burping you for an hour, we get to spend our time together, that's great. I don't get to go turn around and then just go to sleep. No, 3 o'clock, now I'm up and I'm doing the same with you. So that's great. And then the next hour, I'm either having to pump, clean the bottles, clean up the mess, straighten up for the next round of feeding, which is going to take place in an hour or so. So it's just, it's a lot, you know. And that's why I think, well, for me, again, my first kids were a set of twins. So, you know, you just hear the parents with a singleton, one kid, like, oh God, it's so much, it's so much. And we had 2. So I was like, oh yeah, see, okay, it is a lot, but enjoyed it so much. It's not a problem, or it's not like a hindrance or anything like that. It's great. It's just, it's a lot. It's just a lot. And that's all I can really say. It's just not as easy, because when you have one kid, the 2 kids are very different. For an example, Anaya was not the best feeder. So it would literally kind of take me, or take us almost an hour to feed her. But then I knew, like, I didn't have the luxury of just focusing all my attention just on her, because I knew I had to turn around in an hour. I had to get her done within a certain time frame to be able to attend to my other child. So I couldn't, and I think that's where the emotional part for me, it was like I couldn't spend extra time. And again, it's not, every feeding is not the same. So if he allowed, or if he was sleeping and I still had to do something with Anaya, then I'm not like just gonna throw her down and okay, your time's gone. It's not like that, but it's just wanting to give each child the same time and attention. That was the hardest because, like I said, Anaya at the time required more attention than Delonte, and it was what it was. So yeah, and that's the other thing, no kids are alike. So just like how a singleton, you may say, oh yeah, first baby slept through the night, second baby didn't. Imagine having two babies that's not sleeping through the night. You know, hey, I didn't get blessed with two babies that came out sleeping through the night. I didn't. So hey, maybe your experience was different than mine, but yeah, it's just not as simple and as easy. And I think, hey, there's nothing wrong with people wanting twins. I think it's an amazing thing to have a twin. It really is. It's just know it's going to be a lot. And yeah, you're just gonna have to deal with it. So I think that's pretty much like in a nutshell. I just really, and it doesn't bother me when people say like, I have kids close in age. I really don't even say anything. I just say, okay, you know, hey, if that's your point of view, that's your opinion, you know, you're entitled to that. But I can tell you, for me, it's a big difference from going from having kids close in age versus twins, because even if they're that close in age, by the time you have your next kid, that previous kid should be sleeping through the night, probably in their room. So this is really like you really just have one newborn, and like how it is, it's not the same as having two. So it's just everything. It's just a whole. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. And that's the best way I can explain it. So yeah, and then the other point of having twins is back to the medical part. You know, they tend to come earlier, so that means they may be in the NICU. They may have different issues or things going on with them that a regular singleton who made it to 40 weeks may not have. You know, it's a lot, you know, and that alone kind of it takes a toll. It took a toll on me because my twins, my first set, did have to spend time in the NICU. They spent Anaya spent, I believe, like a little less than a week. Yeah, it was under a week because she was home before Christmas. And then Delonte came home a few days after her. And they discharged you. So they discharged me 3 days later. And then the other time I just had to come back up to the hospital, you know, do my thing. You know, it is what it is. But just leaving without your babies is hard. And then when we got to take one home, it was amazing, but at the same time, I'm leaving one there. So it was, again, that was something else that was hard to, you know, go through. But thankfully my kids didn't spend long in the NICU, and I was able to bring home 2 healthy babies. So that's, you know, that's the goal. But then just getting, well, one for us, again, getting pregnant unexpectedly, it was never the goal, or it wasn't something we were striving for. But then finding out, okay, you are indeed pregnant with twins again, and because I've already had a set of twins, I know, okay, he knows, it's not like, and I'm gonna speak for myself, it's not like I'm not excited, I'm not happy. I'm very excited. Like, these are my babies, you know what I mean? Nothing means more to me, you know. I love being a mom. I love having babies. Like, I swear, like, I knew I was done, but it's just like, oh, you see a baby and it's like, don't even think about it. But it's just, we know what we're in for, and that's, you know, that's pretty much it. It's just, I already know. So it's like, you're excited, but you know so much, so you already know what's about to happen, and you know how kind of out of it you were. You still have to work. It's just like, okay, we just got to make it happen, you know. We just, and I would say, like, get through the first year. After that first year, you're pretty good. It really comes down to the first year. So, but after that year, it gets easier. And I've noticed after my first set, the other ones, they didn't really do that whole baby food stage. They skipped that. They were not into the oatmeal, the foods. They wasn't even into the sweeter baby foods. Hey, as a parent, you learn to roll with it. You just learn to roll with it. So again, we're very excited to be having 2 more babies and twins. It's just, we know what, you know, we know what we're going into, and I think that's great, you know, just to not be in that space of, I don't really know what to expect. But either way, very excited, and I really can't wait. So the last thing that I wanted to talk about is actually, how can I even say it? I'm trying to say it in a way it doesn't sound too bad, but I really don't like it. The comparing, I guess you could say. It's an amazing thing to be a twin, but I feel like they're still 2 separate people. They're not supposed to or are going to do the same things at the same time. Like I just don't like people comparing them. I felt like in some situations I actually did compare them to each other. Like, okay, well, she can open up a door. Let me see you do it, Delonte. Or Delonte is walking first, Anaya, come on. Or, you know, it was just, and not saying those were the examples, but it was just, I found myself kind of doing that, or just trying to, I kind of felt like I had to kind of catch the other one up to do something that the other one was already doing. But honestly, I quickly stopped doing that, because I saw that when one of them would open up a door, then the other one may actually close a door first, or what else? Like, it was just like, it's just different things. Like, just because that one can do this, the other one is going to do that. So there's no need to compare them. And I feel like just as they got older, it was always a constant compare and contrast with people. Like, when they hear that they're twins, it's like, oh, okay, this one's walking, that one must be walking. Oh, they're not walking? Well, why is that one walking and that one not? It's just I just really don't like it. But again, I feel like I got off on the first one because, again, they're boy girl. And if you see them, if you see my first 3 kids standing next to each other, most people assume, and if they hear like, oh, I have a set of twins, they assume my girls are twins and my boy is the oldest, because I think he's so tall. But no, Anaya's just, she's just my little baby. She's just little, you know. She's growing at a great rate and everything. It's nothing wrong or anything like that. It's just, she's just small, and she's always been small. So yeah, you know, it is what it is. But I also felt like I probably should up talk them being twins a little more, because just when it comes to twin things, I see that I know that they're twins, but it's just I think we just been raising them as individuals. So for example, their birthday's coming up and it's kind of like well, why are they sharing their birthday on my day? Like, that's my birthday, just like everyone else gets their own birthday party. So it's like you're a twin. That means you came out the same time, the same day, so you celebrate the same day. Your birthday is the same. And it's like, okay, I don't want her to be my twin anymore. You know, it's just like and again, it may not have anything to do with how we're raising them, or just not up talking like a twin. Like, I don't introduce them as, oh, these are my twins, or I really don't. I just say Anaya, Delonte, Ariana, Demar. Like, I don't want them, and I definitely don't want anyone calling them the twins. Don't do that. Like, don't do that. Especially if you know like their name. Like, don't holler out and say, hey, twins, come here, or like, they have names. And honestly, I don't even think my kids are actually even respond to you, because yeah, no, I don't know, no one's ever done it, but it's just like yeah, no, don't do that. I feel like that's just like so rude. Like, that's like saying, hey boy, come here. You know, that's not how you address them. That's not their identity. That's not their whole identity. So, but yeah, I think that's pretty much it. But again, having twins is amazing. I'm very excited because this set of twins is very different than my first. Like I said, these are identical. They're two girls. So I feel like I kind of get to play up that whole, I'm not gonna say real twin thing just because they're the same sex, but I think when I think of twins, I always think of identical or at least the same sex type twins. So yeah, I think this is gonna definitely be a fun ride, exhausting, new experience for us, but hey, I'm ready. So yeah, thanks again guys for coming back and supporting us and watching our videos. Like I said, if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to our channel, as I'll try to think of other things and topics that comes up or comes to mind. But yeah, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.